Dum diddy dum. Here we are, the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. Rick Kamla with the legendary Aaron Bruski, with the Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, aka Dr. A. The dream team is here, ladies and gentlemen. We have the great Andre Lemouche with us as well. This is a think tank of fantasy basketball right here. There's nothing north of this think tank on fantasy basketball. And Brew and Doc, we are in Draftapalooza, Mockapalooza, Roto-Alooza, Head-to-Head-Alooza. We have been drafting all of these leagues all week. We're still in an internal Roto. We're still in our internal Head-to-Head, which is a 20-team league. I'm loving it, man. My head ain't spinning. I was built for this. How are you guys living right now?
I'd like to bitch and moan, but I can't. I love this. It's great. There's 500 drafts going on right now, and it's awesome. Like, I don't know what day it is. I don't know what my name is. Doc called me in the middle of the night the other night. He was happy. I was happy. It was good. It's good times. I love this stuff.
It wasn't the middle of night in Sacramento, though, right? It was like 9 o'clock or something.
It was early.
It was the middle of the night where I was. I know that's right. But yeah, no, dude, this is the best time of the year. The reason that I still play fantasy sports is so that I can draft a team on draft night. Like, that is so fun for me. And I love drafting teams. I love getting my guys. And, you know, I love DFS. I love playing on FanDuel too. With my buddies, we play every day for $2. That's fun. But there's nothing more exciting to me in fantasy sports or just hobbies than killing a draft and feeling good about your team and the promise and hope of a new season. And then, of course, it all comes crashing down at some point. But it's like an adrenaline boost. I love drafting teams.
Yeah. To build on that, I got my first high stakes draft tonight. It's an auction. It's the best players that I've ever seen in one place. It is it's crazy. Like, it's afterwards, I got to go to a party after this thing, and I guarantee you I will be getting wasted drunk at this party because of the decompress that's involved after the war of this auction draft. It's like 3.5, 4 hours long, and it kicks off all the high stakes drafts for the rest of the preseason here. And it's just great. It's like, to Doc's point, like, it doesn't get any better than this. It's like my form of competitive outlet. You know, you're a kid, you play sports. That's cool. And then you get old, and this is what you have. And it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I can't get enough of it.
That outside of sportsethos.com, I think we got to put sportsethos.com up on a pedestal. And I do want to talk about that quickly here. So we got a bunch of news, guys, a bunch of really important, kind of sort of riveting news. We got our Wemby Meter analysis coming up. We're going to look at the top 15 Wemby Meter guys from last year. That's, block, steals, and threes. And also big stuff later in the episode, guys. We've been talking about this. Doc's My Guys article, My Pop Players, the Bruski 150, which is actually, last I checked, Brew, the 241. And we are going to give you a guy from each of our lists. Just a kind of a little giveaway here, kind of a little promo. We'd love you guys to go to sportsethos.com, get a subscription. You can read the full Pop Players article, the full My Guys article. You'll see the B241 and all of the other great content, the draft tracker. And Brew, maybe you could take it from there and let the people know some of the cool bells and whistles over there.
So we've been there's a lot of promo going on that's highlighting this. Just go check a video out on the Twitter feed or wherever you get your social. It's got screenshots and all sorts of fun stuff that you can see. We put in tools, and the important part about that is we've always had the best projections. We always had the best ranks, and now we have the best tools because you have. These are I want to call them Vegas grade projections, but I think that Vegas is soft with their lines in the middle of the year. So you're getting projections that crush Vegas. And if they're going to crush Vegas, they're going to absolutely destroy the other 11 people in your fantasy league. And this year, that's the biggest difference in our product than prior years. So if you're getting a membership, just make sure you know that there are just oodles of tools out there inside of the product that you trade evaluators, you got your matchup evaluators, you've got projections for the week, projections for the rest of the season. You've got so much stuff beyond that, schedule tracking, and you name it. So get on over to Sports Ethos, check out a membership. You get all of these ranks, you get your draft taken care of, and then you actually do have to win it in the regular season as well. And that's where this year I'm just so excited for all of the hard work that everybody in this room here has done, and everybody in the content division and everybody powering it behind the scenes. I cannot say enough about our team, and everybody has just done so much really hard work. And in this day and age, in this industry in particular, that is just really, really nice to see.
That is legendary Aaron Bruski, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, and I'm Rick Kamla. We dive in. Guys, tonight, Joel Embiid is going to make his preseason debut. I'm not sure I've ever done a 180 or a 360. I guess a 360 you're back where you started, right? So let's call it a 180 on Embiid. Dead to me, never drafting him again. Now I'm drafting the you-know-what out of Joel Embiid. He's a 5th-round target for me. And so I'm obviously backing him up with Bona, or at least trying to. That's the plan. And I keep putting it out here, and I see Brew like this. I see Doc like this. I know Andre's in Latvia doing this right now. You think you're just going to wait and get Bono? Well, what if I poach him? Okay, so, you got to play that game a little bit. But I even did it in a Roto League yesterday. Let's say I get 50 games from Embiid, right? You get 82 games for that slot. All right, how about the other 30 or whatever games are Bona games? Cool. If I can make it happen that way. So, and I think Embiid hit us with an okie doke with all this woe is me and I suck and I don't even know if I'll play again. I got to get my knee tested every 5 minutes, blah, 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 blah. The reports already looks great. This is from Keith Pompey of the Inquirer. He's going to play tonight. You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that Embiid is coming back to play before the season even starts, I think people – 5th round guys on Embiid. This is a 30, 11, and 5 guy with blocks and threes and a good percentage.
I mean, there was a time when he was going in the 7th or the 8th round. So I think I'll just kind of frame this with what I've seen of Embiid, not just this year, but last year. There was a big bet made by so many people. I don't want to put this on anybody's kind of head, so to speak. I mean, people that I've respected for years are taking the same exact chance that we took a couple times, and it's the fact that the numbers are what you said, and folks were taking him in the 2nd and the 3rd round. So, I mean, we're tracking Embiid all last season, trying to figure out what's what, and his weight was bad, and he was not able to obviously sustain that weight and be on the floor. And what I think they've done this season is they've decided, we don't know what we're going to get out of you, Joel. So we're going to give you the easiest possible ramp in the world. And you're going to kind of ease into this thing, and he's going to play. And they're going to keep probably his minutes nice and low. They're going to probably obviously keep him out of back-to-backs. But as long as he's upright and you can handle the day-to-day nuance of no back-to-back, which should be kind of telegraphed, I would think, at this point. And even Chris Haynes, who had the first report on this, he's so honest in his reporting. He says, they told me to say this, and this was that he's not going to be out there in back-to-backs. And that's really putting the information out there saying, hey, expectations-wise, guys in Philly, fans, and people everywhere in the league, this is going to be by the book, prescribed rest, no back-to-backs, maybe say 20 to 25 minutes per game. And that's the way to keep him upright all season. And then, of course, if he does play, say, 23, 25 minutes per game, all of that productivity is going to be condensed into those moments. So you probably get maybe 80 to 90% of what Joel Embiid kind of typically is, maybe some erosion of some stats here and there because he's just not the same guy. But 80, 70, 60% of Joel Embiid is still really, really good. So it's a fascinating topic.
If you take Joel Embiid in the 5th round and he plays in 60 games, you win. I mean, that is a win. And it's a gamble. I don't think Joel Embiid's going to make it through 60 games. I'll be surprised if he plays more than 41, which is half a season. But, I'm taking Matas Buzelis in round 5. You're taking Joel Embiid. If Embiid plays in 60 games, I mean, that you crush that. That's an easy dub. I'm not messing with Joel Embiid. You know who else is playing tonight? Bradley Beal. Who gives a you know what? I don't care. Joel Embiid, like Philly is putting a positive spin on Joel Embiid right now because it's been all gloom and doom all summer and like ever since he went down last year. It's just been like bad news, bad news, bad news. Hey, Joel Embiid lost weight. Hey, Joel Embiid's ready to play. I feel like we're being suckered here, but I mean, would I take a flyer on Embiid in the 5th round for the potential? Yeah, I probably would. I'm probably not going to, but it makes sense to me on paper.
It's a Big Bang Theory. You guys know I swing for the fences. I'm looking for Judgian blasts. And so I like to take chances. I do mitigate risk as much as possible, but we're in the 5th round. I mean, you look around, there's a lot of guys with some risk associated with them, maybe not to the degree of a Joel Embiid, but wow, you just got 3 completely different views on Joel Embiid. Plan accordingly. Jaren Jackson Jr., guys, played, okay? Returned to the lineup on Wednesday. So all of this worry and fret, is he going to start the season on time? Do we drop him in our rankings? It was all, it just for not. Because he had 17 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 3 threes. So typical stuff. He had the toe injury and made it through the offseason, and bam, here we go. So, solid guy. I think towards the end of round 2, the beginning of round 3. A little word to the wise, though, on Jaren Jackson Jr. While the points are going up, right, guys? I think we've been 22-22 the last 2 years, which is great. No Bane anymore. Ja's going to play half the season. So I believe that number is going to rise. And I'm not going to the rebound category because we know he's soft in rebounds. His blocks and his threes, his blocks are coming down a little bit. I don't know if he's a 2-block guy anymore. He may settle in here at 1.5. I still like Jaren Jackson Jr., but it's really all the Wemby meter for him, for me. And the Wemby meter's shrinking a little bit for JJJ. But, Doc, you first on this, man. Your thoughts on JJJ coming back before the season begins?
Jonas Nader made me a JJJ guy back in the day because that was his guy. You know how I was all over like Luka and Wemby, and this year it's Buzelis. He was always Jaren Jackson Jr. And he kind of, when we're on this show and talking, what you say gets in my head and like, oh man, I need to draft Kelly Oubre or we influence each other. And I was highly influenced by Jonas about Triple J, but I don't like him that much. Like, I don't like the fact that he doesn't rebound. And I don't like the fact that his Wemby meter is going down. His blocks and his threes are dropping a little bit. But he's a good player. Like, I still like him, but I haven't drafted him anywhere. I will say this. I had in my head he was not going to be ready for the start of the season, so I kind of wrote him off. And here he is, ready for the start of the season. So good for him. If you draft him, you're going to get blocks and threes and points, and you're going to get no rebounds, and it's frustrating, but it is what it is. But I'm a fan of Triple J, but just not in fantasy, really, I guess.
Okay, so I'm a roto guy, and I think it really matters if Ja Morant plays. If Ja Morant doesn't play, Jaren Jackson gets all the shots he wants, and we just saw another reminder of that in this last game, 7 of 20 or something from the field. That's crushing his value in roto leagues, and so I'm with Ja already out. It's really, like a reminder of this won't go well in a roto setting if that stays true. But in a head-to-head, it might not matter to you. If you're punting percentages, you don't care. That's just more points for you to go with, and that's good and fine. Other than that, this sets up wonderfully for him. I mean, people are finding out kind of last second that he's back, and they've already let him drop like a rock in drafts. I mean, I'm seeing him go in like the 4th round. I don't think I've seen him go in the 5th round yet, but at a 4th round price, this is a guy who theoretically, with lots of air quotes, could be a first rounder. And so I find that to be, valuable. I'm just not thrilled with the jaw thing. If that holds up, that could be a total mess in a roto setting.
Interesting. The legendary Aaron Bruski, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, I'm Rick Kamla. We are the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. Quick correction. I can't remember what I said, but Jaren's 3-ball is not descending. It's ascending. The blocks is what's dropping. The steals are solid, 1.2 the last 2 years. The threes have gone 1.6, 1.6, 1.8, and 2 last year. It could even be a 2.1 or 2.2. Probably will go up a little bit in 3 balls because I think his scoring is going up. But because of that, and guys get, I don't know, as they get older, they just block less. So I think Jaren will be at about a block and a half. If that works for you, then draft away.
Brew's like, he's a potential first rounder. And we've been saying that literally for what, forever. 7 years, 6 years?
1 year that he basically did it.
8 years. Like we say it every year. Oh, Jaren Jackson Jr., man, the threes, the blocks, like it's all there. Like we're just waiting for him to unpack it. Had to happen. Like at some point we have to.
The year that he was like dead to everybody, he went and he did it.
Well, we need to just accept that he is who he is. Like I don't think he's going to get too much better.
Oh, and I'm definitely not saying he's going to be that. I just want to throw that out there. But
I hear you.
We got hurt.
All right, guys, speaking of getting hurt, Jaylen Brown, hours after I drafted him in our 20-team head-to-head league in the third round.
Of getting hurt.
Jaylen Brown, hammy. I was gigging at Saigon Blonde and down to
soft tissue. Go. Sorry, I'll shut up.
That's all good, dude. So hamstring for Jaylen Brown. He was doubtful to return Wednesday. Obviously he's going to be shelved. I don't even know if they have a game tonight. We have games here on Friday night, and then that's it for the preseason. Next Tuesday, ding ding, we go. So this is obviously a buzzkill. Hopefully just like a speed bump of a buzzkill and not. I did some digging, right? We don't have a Shams report. That I haven't seen anything about, unless you guys know something I don't, about imaging. We don't have grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. I watched the play. He was coming up the court and, he just kind of grabbed his upper left hamstring. Hopefully it's not a big deal, guys. But, if you drafted Jaylen Brown, you got some maintenance on your hands now. You already knew that was going to be the case. Why did I draft Jaylen Brown? I drafted Jaylen Brown because we could get a massive season from him with Jason Tatum out. He's determined. I saw him talking. I've never missed the playoffs in my career, all this kind of stuff. So, and we know he's a driven badass. So I do like him a lot. I do like his fantasy stats. And I think the 3-ball is going to rise. I think his points are going to be around 25 a game. He's been a 26-point scorer in this league. So how are you guys processing this? Were you a Jaylen Brown guy? Now you're not. Brew, you go first.
Okay, so I'm actually less concerned about Jaylen Brown than I am everybody else involved in Boston, because the one thing that I fear from a win totals perspective, betting the over on Boston and looking at them as a playoff team, is that if Jaylen Brown goes down, it changes the entire calculus for this squad. They don't compete on a night-to-night basis the way that they will with him. It's a major loss for them. And if they lose too much early, it starts tipping this thing over the wrong direction. And then they get incentivized to lose more games. And you guys all know how that goes. And there's a lot of great fantasy assets on this squad. So I'm just like looking at Jaylen and going, man, could you have waited 3 months for this? And now I'm nervous about them all. So we'll watch and we'll wait. And that there's no Shams reports of good news.
I don't really know where to go here. I'm not a Jaylen Brown guy in fantasy. I'm just not. He hasn't been in my queue. I haven't drafted him. I haven't thought about drafting him. He's always drafted in round 3, and then his value shows up in our ranking system at Basketball Monster. Wherever you look, He's like 8th, 9th, 10th rounds. Free throws suck. He doesn't the 3-ball. I don't mess with Jaylen Brown. And the Celtics, to me, like Rick and I were convinced 3 months ago or 2 months ago that they were going to tank a Palooza this season and not even try. And then now it's been like, okay, now we're going to try. We're going to go for it. But I've always been worried about Jaylen. Yeah, Jaylen getting hurt. And that's where I am. I mean, I love Pritchard and I love Derek White on that team. I will draft the crap out of those guys. I'm not messing with Jaylen Brown.
The turning point for me, Brew, was Shams with the bed of the Rocky theme under him on ESPN, as he talked about Jason Tatum trying to be back before the end of the year, and he mentioned February, March, or April, and he kind of was like, I don't. So in Boston is like thinking they're going to get him back. So that completely changed my outlook and my theory for them. From they have to tank. Remember, I talked about it. I mean, I still think it makes sense to tank, but they're a competitive team. And so if you're going to get Tatum back maybe on March 15th, you don't tank. You play the long game. I mean, this is the Eastern Conference. This isn't the West. Like, why couldn't Boston with a healthy Jason Tatum go maybe win the East and go to the finals? They could. You've got the Knicks, you've got Cleveland, Milwaukee, Orlando. Hello. They've got championship DNA. So that completely changed me on Boston. It moved White up. It moved Brown up. It moved Pritchard up. I was already high on Pritchard. But, all right, guys, let's move on. We have a development in a couple, actually, in Dallas. But I want to focus on Cooper Flagg. Okay? Jason Kidd, I wondered about this. I thought he should do this, and he's doing this. He's going positionless. He's going non-point guard. Cooper Flagg is their starting point guard right now. I think it's time to get very, very excited. So D'Angelo Russell's been hurt, but we know how that goes. D'Lo is one of the softest players of all time, hates the game. He's going to play 37 games this year. I highly recommend Brandon Williams in super deep leagues. I was able to get him in 30 deep. Pretty psyched about that. Talk a little Brandon Williams. Oh man, last year it was the whole thing. But
I love Brandon Williams.
But Cooper Flagg, 13, 2, and 3. I mean, what are you going to do, right? But he is. So they're starting PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively. All right, I love this. Use what you have. Okay, play to your strengths. They just paid PJ Washington big money, by the way. Okay, so he's going to play. Boom, starting lineup. The Bucks just paid AJ Green. Guess what? Doc's going to start him. Miami just paid Nikola Jovic. Guess what? He's starting. The Kings just paid Dennis Schroeder. Guess what? He's starting. You can't make this up. The money finds the floor. So this is huge news for Cooper Flagg and huge news for PJ Washington, guys.
Well, given that I drafted Cooper Flagg in like round 2 of that 20-man we're in, let's go, baby. I'm into Cooper Flagg mainly because he's like they need to showcase him. Nico needs redemption for the Luka trade, and he needs to get the fans off his ass. So they want Cooper Flagg to succeed so much so that I think he's can't miss this year. So I'm totally fired up about it. I was talking to a guy from Dallas last night at our trivia game, and he was like, man, they can't even figure out where to play Cooper Flagg. They don't know if they want him to be a point guard or a shooting guard or a small forward. Like, they don't even know. So I'm cool with point guard. Put him there and let him rip.
It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters where you put him. I was actually getting little goosebumps because I'm so excited for Dallas, and it feels weird. Like, I feel like Nico was the ultimate villain, and now all of a sudden I'm rooting for his squad. Maybe it's in spite of him. I don't know. But like, I've been watching them in the preseason. Quick point, Cooper Flagg went up to Yam on Nurkic the other night. And it was so audacious, and it was like disrespectful of a veteran. You're like, I'm going to take off from here, and then I'm going to try to yam in this situation. And then he just fouled him. And it was this nice little preseason moment that you rarely see of actually really cool basketball. And but the other thing that's striking is I went, and I'll give a play away from the Wager Pass. I just immediately, after watching them like the second time, said, I gotta have the over on these guys. They have something special with the size on the floor, and it's having all these effects that you just didn't think you would see. Like Klay Thompson is just kind of gliding out there, getting any shot he wants. And you get a guy like Klay Thompson who's going to get wide open looks, and that's something you didn't really expect this season. You looked at it and said, they got a log jam up in the front court. How's this going to work? Is Cooper Flag going to actually be able to hack it at this high level? Well, he's hacking it at the high level. And so their size, Derek Lively, you pull him into that lineup. PJ Washington, he's a beast at times in fantasy leagues, and it's sometimes hard to call. But all of a sudden, he's ripping off 2 steals, 2 blocks, 3 threes, 25 points, some decent rebounds, a couple of assists because he can actually handle the ball. And if they bring him into the fold like you're talking about, Rick, this could be a really fun fantasy team. And from a winning perspective, like Derek Lively makes them so unique. And with all that other size, you just can't get anywhere with them. And they have all the openings.
I will be taking the under on Dallas wins. Anthony Davis is going to play in 14 games. Get hurt, be out for a month. Plus, he's fat. He's out of shape. I'm not feeling doubt. I have the exact opposite feelings as you do, Brew.
I love it. I love it.
And I have a Dallas Mavericks hat over there. I should just go take my Indiana
14 games, and he's fat.
14 games, and he's fat. Put it on a license plate. Put it on a bumper sticker.
14 games, and he's fat. That's awesome. I'll take the over. I'll take the over on the games played and the under on his weight.
Fatty Street Clothes is his new nickname.
Definitely under 300 pounds.
Fatty Street Clothes, Anthony Davis. Doc's favorite. So we have more bad news. There's a ton of injury news, guys. Bad news on Jaden Ivey. All right, this isn't working out. He's going to miss at least 4 weeks after undergoing arthroscopic procedure on his right knee. He's working back from a fractured left fibula and now right knee discomfort, and he's got to have a procedure. Okay, sounds like maybe a meniscus thing, maybe a scope, and it says at least 4 weeks. All of the inactivity. I don't think I have a share of Jaden Ivey. I told Doc, like building my depth chart and kind of looking, and you're doing rankings and stuff. I always kind of like Jaden Ivey, and I'm like, he's coming back, like he's going to start. Like, okay, I'm just curious, right? I told Doc at the start of the preseason, we did a little like what we're watching for, what we need to see, or whatever that segment was. I said, I need to see Jaden Ivey pop. I don't even need to see with my 2 eyes. I just need to look at a box score. I need to see 13, 3, and 3 in 14 minutes, right? Something like that. Pop for me. Dance for me. Would you dance for me? Do you know what I'm saying? He's not dancing, guys. He's sitting over there. He's actually on a rehab table right now. So it's bad news. I wish the kid well, but I'm staying very, very far away.
It's Karis LeVert time, boys.
Good point.
Look, you're going to get
maybe a little Duncan Robinson.
A little Karis LeVert.
I heard a report that there's like no interest in Malik Beasley by Detroit at this time. Like I'll have to remember in my brain of what day it is that I heard that. But look, Jaden Ivey can be had for a song now. If you're in a punt free throw build, this is like last pick, really good material. Like he's gearing up for getting his next deal. And he's doing this surgery when everybody knows it's going to be received terribly. It's going to be more bad news, and it's going to be bad news for his stock. And so I think what he's doing is he's saying, look, I'm not going to play this entire season with this thing and lower my stock even more. I'm going to get ahead of it, do the bad thing early, get it behind me. Maybe he's out 6 weeks, right? Who cares? They need him. They need him really bad because Duncan Robinson is not doing it, and Karis LeVert is a guy that soaks up stats and he will step in and be fine and do all the things that Doc's talking about. But from a big picture, Detroit trying to be a top 4 team in the East, they need Jaden Ivey. and they're going to bring him back. He will be kind of exactly what he was before the procedure. And who knows, maybe it'll actually be a good thing for him. So it's not great for his overall fantasy value. Don't get me wrong, but if you're kind of trying to find some value out of this thing, I think in a punt free throw build, you got it.
Doc, any comments or should we move on?
Oh, I made my comment. Karis LeVert time, baby.
Okay, I got you. All right, because we got a bunch of news here. Domantas Sabonis. Chris Haynes reporting Domas hamstring will miss Friday's preseason finale. He suffered a mild hamstring strain during Wednesday's loss to the Clippers. You've got Keegan Murray out, several weeks with his injury, and now this is kind of like the Jaylen Brown thing. Although, Brew, I don't know if you were watching this game. I know you're up there in Northern California. Maybe you were able to check this out. I did see the Jaylen Brown injury. I did not see if Domas was grabbing a limb or anything like that. But nevertheless, a little bit of trepidation here. He's being overdrafted for me. I'm not taking centers. I'm not taking centers until round 6. Late first round, second round, people are doing that, and they can knock themselves out with that. I'm going for wings at that point. So I don't have any shares of Domas other than a keeper league that I'm in, which is a 2-time champion, which is now dilapidating. I hate my team. Might be time to tank. Might be time to trade Domas heading into this season. But nevertheless, Brew, what do you know about Domas? Are you in on him this year? How is this news impacting you?
Without checking into anything with anybody in the building, my sense with this is that it would not be released, that it was mild if it wasn't indeed mild. So that is kind of taking away was it a big one? Was it a bad one? And here's the problem with Domas. He's played through so much in the last 3 years. Last year, I probably counted like 10 injuries that he just walked off that I thought, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's not good for his running gait. It's not good for his, resiliency and future injuries, his already bad lateral movement. I remember Rashawn Holmes had his peak season. And during that peak season, he had all that stuff happening. He rolled his ankle like 5 times and didn't miss a game. And you're like, that's going to leave a mark, and that's going to be bad next year. And that's when we got off the train. This year is all bad in Sacramento. They're all looking for the exits, every single one of them. Doug Christie is definitely on the hot seat from day one. I love Doug. I think he's going to be a good coach in the NBA. He's expendable at the most expendable level. You're going to see all sorts of bad stuff happen within the first 2 months, and how that all plays out. And can a team actually can the Kings trade Sabonis, and can he get to a place is probably on his mind and on their mind. And the best fantasy value for him will be in Sacramento, as long as he can just distance himself from this injury. But I wouldn't consider him indestructible in the way that he's been the last couple seasons. Probably more of a 3rd round guy than a 2nd round guy at this point.
Does it do anything for Drew Eubanks? I don't know. I have 0 shares of Sabonis. I thought about him in a roto, but I can't do it. The lack of the Wemby stats just kills me. I can't do it.
The Wemby stats.
Nice in-show promo, Doc. A little teaser right around the corner. We are going to look at the Wemby meter from last year and analyze if guys can do it again this upcoming year. I do want to shout out our new audience members. We really appreciate you guys being here. We are the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel, the legendary Aaron Bruski, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. Rick Kamla with you here as well. We love that you're with us. It's going to be a fantastic year. You have found the spot, okay? This is the best fantasy basketball content that there is. We have the best draft guide that there is over at sportsethos.com. And for those who have been loyal subscribers and watchers and listeners of our show, we love you guys and girls too. Thank you so much. We'd like to encourage you guys, especially the new audience members who may not have done this yet. Please subscribe to the Sports Ethos YouTube channel. Helps us out a lot. And please subscribe to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed. That helps us out a lot as well. And it will ensure that you get all of our content and you're just plugged in and ready to go. Doc, you first on Denny Avdia, back injury, will not return to Thursday's exhibition against the Jazz. That was last night. where Keontae Walker Kessler, we'll talk about him in a minute. But there were some big performance. That was a fun game, by the way. Late night last night. But Doc, Denny Abdia, upper back stiffness. He already dealt with that. And now, so he kind of had to, pull the car over to the side of the road here, Doc. I don't have a lot of Denny. I don't know why. You know what I mean? He's kind of in, I don't know, a bit of a no man's land for me. Like, you know what it is, Doc? I know what it is. When I'm taking centers in round 6 and 7, that's when people are taking Denny Abdia. That's why I don't have any Denny. So I just figured it out right there. But Doc, you first. I know you're you have been a big Denny guy in the past.
I have, but I'm with you. Like Rick, I think you and I have worked so much together this year and talked so much about all this stuff that we've sort of morphed into one person, because I take centers the same time you take centers. I think we have a lot of the same philosophies. There's very few players that we disagree on. There's a few, but mostly we're the same. And I'm with you. I like Denny Abdia. I'm not opposed to drafting him, but I don't have him anywhere. And now he's got a back injury. That's probably good for guys like Drew Holiday, Matisse Thybulle, and Shaden Sharp, like all three of them. I think it helps out. So I think Sharp is probably the biggest winner there. Sharp is looking good. Tumani Kamara as well. But, hopefully Denny's injury isn't serious, because I really like him. I like watching him play. I hope he has a good season. Maybe I'll draft him, and I've got 3 drafts, or 2 on Sunday and 2 on Monday. So maybe I'll end up with him in one of those.
Yeah, I've seen Denny going in like the 4th round in expert leagues. So it's hard to get him. It's really hard to get him. Injury wise, him and Kamara. Kamara has also showed up on the injury report pretty much all preseason, and so I want to see the clarifying piece of news that's going to come out here probably today or tomorrow, before kind of sliding people around in Portland. But that's going to be a fun team. You know who looks really good there too is Drew Holiday. Like, he looks spry.
I'm drafting the crap out of Drew Holiday.
Are you? Yeah.
Thanks to Rick Kamla.
We're morphing. Cycles are aligning.
I had a little tickle, Brew.
Our cycles are aligned.
I had an epiphany on Drew Holiday, right? And I think it was even before Scoot Henderson blew his tire, but I was like, why won't Drew Holiday get back to being a good fantasy player? Like, there's nothing in his way to doing that. And so we're seeing really good numbers here in the preseason. And, there was a report that he's not happy. Here's how you make him happy. And I talked about this. If you're Chauncey Billups, put the ball in his hand. Okay. Like, remember King of the Corner? They called you in Boston. They called you King of the Corner because all you did is stand in the corner and make, you're freaking PJ Tucker, 2025. So, you're Nick Batum, right? That's all you do. Stand in the corner, hit threes. All right, we're going to put the ball back in your hand. How's that sound? Drew Holiday's like, really? Dope. Let's go. All right. And he's done that. And the numbers have been fantastic. I just drafted Drew Holiday in our, was it the Roto or?
Look, it's
the Roto. Yeah. So I'm drafting the out of Drew Holiday as well. And I think I got him in round 8. Yes.
One last quick thing on Drew is he's the piece they need to make everything else sing. You got a bunch of young dudes out there who need leadership, and you're trying to teach, like a Scoot Henderson, for example, how to play in the NBA. And you've got Drew and you got Damian on the sideline as well. And it just makes sense that you give Drew Holiday a bigger role so he can both lead with his voice, but also with his play.
All right, fellas. So let's move on here. Bub Carrington knee will not return to Thursday's game. Don't want to really spend a lot of time. He landed awkwardly after attempting to deflect a pass. The Wizards announced that he's dealing with a sore left knee. Doesn't sound like anything serious. Keep your eye on that. I've cooled on Bub a little bit. I've got some late round Bub shares. I'm trying to diversify a little bit. And then just 2 more things here. Walker Kessler, guys, made his preseason debut last night. He's kept us a bit in suspense. the shoulder injury, missing practice, returned to practice about a week ago. He went 14-10 with 8 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, and a 3 bomb from Walker Kessler last night. I'm obviously head over heels in love with this fantasy player. I'll phrase it like that so I don't have to say pause. But I am drafting the you-know-what out of Walker Kessler. I know he played 58 games last year. In our roto, I looked at it, right? Total rebounds, total blocks. He was 4th in total blocks last year. I think he was, I forget, he was 7th or 10th in total rebounds, right? Despite the 58 games. So hopefully we get more than 58 games. And it's a contract year for Walker Kessler. But you guys, I'm pretty geeked about Walker Kessler, man. How about you guys? Can you match my geekdom on Walker Kessler?
Dude, I'm sure you are so fired up. Like you between Walker Kessler and Donovan Clingan, you've just gone overboard on both those guys. And the fact that Kessler comes out in game 1 and does that, you just had the same feeling that I had when Matas Buzelis had that monster game 3 nights ago for Chicago. Yes. And I was like, let's go. It's preseason. I don't care. I don't even care. It's preseason. Let's go.
Give him the Joel Embiid crotch shot, right? after Embiid makes the game over and 1, and he's like, go to the crowd. And he gives him the crotch shot. I love that.
Cut that for the promo.
Dude, I do that at Golden Tee, dude. I drop down all the way. I drop real low to the floor. I give the
that mean ass goatee you got going there.
And they're like,
people take their kids and they're like, hide children. Don't go near him.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
oh my gosh.
It is terrifying.
And then the parents have to explain to the 6-year-old boy, Dad, what's he doing?
Those are his, because it was a great moment.
Yeah, those are his
little
those are his extra large testicles. That those are his boulders, right? I mean, give me a break.
Yes. You learn that when you're 13, son.
Oh my God, Doc, you crack me up, dude. All right, so Kessler went off. Lastly here, guys, and maybe this is like a pop-up Rick's rant. The Hawks are so stupid. The Hawks are so stupid. Fred Katz reports that Trae Young and the Hawks will not agree to a contract extension before the start of the regular season. Here, and he's got a player option. Trae Young is a player option for 26-27. Okay, which means, guys, he's a free agent next summer. Okay. This is so dumb. Are the Hawks literally telling Trae, we don't want you around here anymore? Okay, that's kind of what they're saying, because this is a no-brainer. You max him out, period. You max him out. There's no haggling or negotiating over a dollar amount. It's if I'm Trae Young, you either max me out or I'm out of here, period. So the Hawks don't want to max out Trae Young. Had they lost their minds? This is a generational first ballot Hall of Fame player. I'm at a loss here, Doc. The Hawks always screw it up. That's why Doc and I always say we're not believing anything with the Hawks this year. They're the Hawks.
And what does this do?
Screw it up.
Like, is this like a LeBron season for Trae now?
Yes.
And like that means we don't know what's going to happen. Like Trae could be like, F you, I'm going to ball out and get ready for my new team, or F you, I don't really care that much.
Correct. And he could get traded. And then is he a third option on his new team? Is he still put up to bat like he is in Atlanta? This is weirdness, bro. I hate it.
I love how they're your Kings. Like, you guys are near Atlanta.
We know too much, Brew. We know too much.
Just like,
yeah, but we also have the Falcons. So
yeah, it's like, I mean, you guys are literally like dealing with what I deal with out here covering the Kings. And I would argue that the Kings are way more dysfunctional than your perfectly functional Atlanta Hawks Atlanta Hawks squad out there. I was talking Falcons for a second.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, no. I could guarantee that. And then this is hilarious because I have them as the 4th ranked team in my power rankings that I will be continuing for Sports Ethos all season. I look at what Atlanta has done and watching them throughout the preseason, it is fascinating. Like, you needed all the guys that they have to build around Trae Young, and you did it, and you somehow did it on the cheap. And these guys, they all are kind of special in the way that we just watched Kristaps Porzingis transform Boston into some massive Mike Tyson punch out kind of, punching power champion where they just walked all over everybody, barely needed him to play. But when he was on the floor, it was just a joke. And then you got Jalen Johnson, who's just been the belle of the ball the entire time he's been on the court. You got Dyson Daniels, the perfect player to play next to Trae Young, and on and on and on. I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, one of the best defenders in the NBA. You're just adding. And this thing that they didn't give him the extension is hilarious because I agree. Yeah, you just go all in. But I think they also know too much about Trae Young in the last 3 years of how everything has gone down. And maybe that's the mistake right there, is they're holding all of that against him when in reality, it's like, oh, you really want to mess with this? What you need to do is you need to sign Trae Young. You need to sign Kristaps Porzingis for whatever amount of years and try this thing out, because you're never going to get a better chance than what you have right now if you're the Atlanta Hawks. And we'll see how this happens. I've watched the interviews with Trae, and he just looks like a little bit hurt, like he's not getting what he wants. And the one point I'll make before closing is that I just think this dude doesn't know how to play basketball any other way. If anything, it's going to motivate him, and he's just going to go out there and go gangbusters, and then they're going to win. And they're probably at some point in December, going to figure it all out for both guys.
Interesting. I'm still drafting Trae, mid first round, where I'm not. Sorry guys, I had a wrong pipe moment there. Thank you for going there, Brew. All right, let's move on here to the biggest Wemby Meter performers from last season. Can they repeat? So, what is the Wemby Meter? For years, I have referred to block, steals, and threes. To me, the most important fantasy categories in a head-to-head scenario. I don't know if they're the most important categories in a roto scenario. I will be able to tell you that after this year. Sorry. In a head-to-head format, again, there are other methodologies. You can go with the percentages way. You can clock turnovers. You can do all this stuff. What works for me, to the tune of championships, rings, first place finishes, trophies, money, is the Wemby Meter, fantasy gold. So the Wemby Meter is sort of a new name or title for fantasy gold. It's the same thing. All right, Wemby Meter, because of Wemby, last year had a Wemby Meter of 8. Nobody in the history of the game has had a Wemby Meter of 8, other than, of course, Wemby. That's why we're naming it after him. 3.1 threes, 1.1 steals, 3.8 blocks. That's 8. That's unbelievable. He's the Wilt Chamberlain of fantasy gold. That's why the Wemby Meter. So I just explained why it matters, right? To me, in a head-to-head scenario, you're coming down, whether it's a regular season game, a playoff game. Usually, if you've got a badass team, maybe you're just cooking your opponent in those categories. But when you're going up against Brew, Doc, Andre, Mark Camaro, Passador, the badasses, right? Okay, guess what? Your week's going to come down to block, steals, and threes. At least mine do, okay? And you want to have those goodies. It's like baseball, home runs and steals, dude. You got to have home runs and steals. If you don't, you're not going to get it done. This is that in basketball. But talk to me, guys, about, and Brew, you first here, how much you prioritize the Wemby Meter. Do you prioritize it at all?
Yeah, big time. Also reminded of that scene in Dumb and Dumber when the hitman took the poison. And I think when he's dying at the end, they're like, would you like a lozenge? So this good stuff thinking as you're hacking up there.
I know. I should have gotten a ketchup in a mustard bottle and just squeezed them and shot them up in the air.
Exactly. And that would have completely solved the issue. I've been living off of what I used to call, there you go, Doc's got it figured out. I've been living off of what I used to call cash counters. And when you started calling it the Wemby Meter, I was like, yes, give me the Bruce Lee of basketball and the name to really just drive it home, because this is how you win, guys. You got to get these stats. You got to get the steals and the blocks and the threes. And it takes a player that, most people wouldn't get excited about, and it puts them on the radar. And I like it. I mean, it actually is pretty reflective of the game itself. So, yeah, I'm excited to go through these players. I don't know what you got, Doc.
Oh, same thing. If a guy's good at steals, blocks, and threes, he immediately becomes one of my favorite guys. That's the key to the whole thing.
like a Jaren Jackson Jr., 1.5 blocks, 1.2 steals, like 2 or 1.9 threes. Those are our guys. So we talked about Wemby. And these rankings right here. We got the top 15 in the Wemby meter from last season. Okay. And it's weighted value when accounting only 3-pointers made, steals, and blocks per game values, at least 30 games played from last season. So Victor Wembanyama is first. And this is why you draft him over Nikola Jokic. This is why. Like, if you've been like, man, you guys are on Wemby over Jokic. How? That's so foolish. Why would anybody do that? This is why. Okay. For example, Nikola Jokic is, and he is on this list, but distantly on this list. And we'll get to Jokic in a minute. But last year, 2 threes per game, 1.8 steals, 0.6 blocks, a Wemby meter of 4.4. Wemby doubles him up in the Wemby meter. Obviously, when you go to PRA, Jokic gets a pretty sizable win over Wemby in that, okay? So it's a give and take. It's what you want. Points, rebounds, and assists, pardon me, are extremely vital, but they're not as vital as the Wemby meter stats. So that's why I like Wemby over Nikola Jokic. But guys, just kind of ooh and ah here about a Wemby meter of 8 from this guy. And how much bigger could that get this year for Wemby?
Dude, Wemby's crazy. I've been following it. Even aside, he's the best player we've seen in so long. He's got a TOS that I've got. I'm like curious, what was his medical procedure? My doctors are doing YouTubes on this, and it's just a weird confluence of my life in the NBA. So I'm super dialed into Wemby, and his trip around the world was fascinating. Like, I think he realized that, if that clot gets worse, if whether it's a compression of the nerves or the veins or whatever is going on with him, that it could all end in an instant. And he's like, well, I'm going to just live life, and I'm going to basically just take this thing to the max. And he's gone out and done all this crazy training. There's a drill he does in San Antonio where he runs back and forth with his teammates up and down the floor, and they attempt to score on him. And I think he's like the only guy on defense or something. And I don't know how they do this thing, but it's his drill to get kind of like into the best shape known to man. So he is as motivated and as dialed in on the training side as anybody we've ever seen in the game before. And he's trying to go to the hoop. And we've talked about this a ton, where it's like, we don't like that long distance stuff as much as if you could just go in and dunk it every time, that would be great. Because now you're basically in Jokic territory with field goal percentage. The one difference between the two guys that really, really stands out. And it's a fascinating discussion because he's also an injury risk, and they're going to have kid gloves on him. This isn't the all-in season, but it's damn close. And by the way, I think they're number 6 in my power rankings.
So the other night, Soren and I had a draft in my rock and roll league, which I run. And Bo from My Morning Jacket sends me a text. He's like, dude, I can't draft tonight. I think he's on stage or something. And he's like, can you set the draft order? I don't feel comfortable setting my queue until I know the draft order. Okay, whatever. So I was like, man, I'm busy. I've got 8 drafts going on, but I'll see what I can do. So I go into Yahoo and I hit random. Spits it out. Soren gets the number 1 pick. I get the number 2 pick, and I have to send a note to my entire league that my son and I have the number 1 and 2 pick in our draft, and that Yahoo picked it randomly. Trust me. And it was very awkward, and I felt dirty, but that's what happened. And even Soren was like, dude, what is going on? So anyway, the bottom line of the story, Soren had the number 1 pick. And he's like, Dad, who do I take? And I was like, you got 3 choices, bro. Make the right one. And he took Jokic, which means I got Victor Wembanyama at number 2. There is no better feeling, man. Like, Wemby has a chance to put up stats that we've never seen in our lifetime. I was not around for Wilt Chamberlain, and you guys weren't either. And like, this could be historic. And the fact that I got him at number 2, let's go. And then I had the 5th pick in another draft, and somebody passed on Luka, and I got Luka at 5. Like I have Luka in one, I have Wemby in the other. That's why I'm calling Bruski in the middle of the night drunk. Like, bro, I'm killing life. Like I'm having the best time ever. I love it.
Oh, I was putting my son to sleep and I was just shedding a tear. It's like, how is he having more fun than I am?
I love it, man. I got Wemby. I think he'll go a little bit north of what he did last year, but man, it's hard. I mean, 3.8 blocks. Okay. So what's he going to go to? 4.2, 4.3? Yeah, maybe.
Dude, he's
okay.
9 feet tall.
He was at 3.13s, which is an elite number. Is he going to go to 3.5, 3.7? The steal number could go up. It was at 1.1. Maybe that just all of a sudden, wow, 1.7 this year. Where'd that come from, Wemby? I don't know, but it's all arrow pointing up. I'll just say Wemby Meter a 9 this year. I'll give him some, decent upticks in each. All right, next on our list, guys. Again, top 15 Wemby Meter performers from last year. Weighted value when accounting threes made, steals, and blocks. Dyson Daniels is up next, guys. Number 2 in terms of the importance of the Wemby Meter to his overall fantasy value. 1.1 threes, 3 steals, 0.7 blocks. That's a Wemby Meter of 4.8. I don't think he's going to duplicate 3 steals, but I think he could be a 2.6, 2.7, a really, really fat number. The blocks could go up. The threes could go up a little bit. So I'll put him at a Wemby Meter at about 5. I don't think the Wemby Meter is going down. I think the steals will come down a little bit. I think the threes and blocks may go up a little bit.
I think this is unrelated, but it is related. I think the best place to pick this year is 1 through 4 or 12. Like being 12 is fun. Like I get to pick. I'm 12th in a couple leagues, and I get to pick whoever I want. And in one of the leagues I'm 12th in is the only league I have Dyson Daniels in. I went Josh Giddey, Amen Thompson, and then got Dyson with the first pick of the third round. And starting my draft off with Giddey, Amen Thompson, and Dyson Daniels is exciting. I love Dyson. I do think he's going to be very close to 3 steals again. I would not be surprised if it went up to like 3.2 this year. But Dyson's tricky, man. The point that the rest of it, like so much of his value is tied to steals. Like you have to figure out if it's worth it to you to do it or not. To me, 3rd round on Dyson, I love it.
I got to give a shout out to the team here, Andre, all of the content guys, everybody involved, because everybody's giving me such a ramp. I've never watched more preseason ball in my career. I've never watched so many or listened to so many interviews, just like the deep research. This is the one thing scaring me about Dyson, and I don't know if it scares me at all, is he's talking about making more position plays on defense. Like it's almost as if maybe he feels a little bit bad about all those steals that he's getting. And that would be a big change. Like you see guys go from one system to the next and they become steals guys or position guys and vice versa. And that is the only question with Dyson Daniels, his work ethic, his approach to the game, he's a point guard his entire life growing up. And so he has ball handling skills. He has run the team skills. He has strength and a first step to get past people. His handle needs to improve. And obviously his shot needs to improve. And they have a role for him. And it might be backup point guard. So everything's a go for him. It's just that steals number. If it goes down to 2.5, it's a different guy. It's a 3rd rounder. It's a 4th rounder. So it's just, what's your belief in Dyson Daniels at this point?
That is the legendary Aaron Bruski. I am Rick Kamla. We have Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. We are the Dream Team. We are the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. We are clocking the Wemby Meter, the dudes from last year, how it looks going ahead to this year, based on weighted value of threes made, steals, and blocks, and the importance. And we all agree, all 3 of us. We may disagree on the fringes of percentages and stuff, but we all agree that these stats are integral. You have to have them, or you will not win a head-to-head format. It just won't happen for you. Number 3 on this list, guys, again, weighted value of the Wemby Meter is Luka Doncic. And this is last year, okay? He wasn't full Luka last year. That wasn't an it year for him. That was a bit of I wouldn't call it a down year. It's a bit subpar for him. This is why I have Luka over Nikola Jokic. As I project their PRAs, they're one off of each other. I think Jokic was maybe at a 52, Luka was at a 51, something like that. That's no difference at all when you get up that high. But when you talk about the Wemby meter, okay, all right, the steals are going to be about the same. All right, Luka last year was 1.8, Jokic last year was 1.8. Can they both do it again? Can they dip a little bit? Sure, but they should be in that neighborhood. Jokic at 0.6 blocks, Luka at 0.4 blocks. With the improved conditioning, I think that number is actually going to go up a little bit from Luka. And so that's probably about a push. Okay, let's go to the 3-ball category. Luka was at 3.5 last year. I believe he's going to be at 4 this year. I think he's scoring about 33, 34 a game. He'll be at 4 3-balls. Jokic last year, career high at 2 3-balls. He may drift back to 1.5. Okay, so Luka could just absolutely obliterate him in the 3-ball category. So I'm taking Luka number 2. I go Wemby, Luka, Jokic, SGA. Might be the only guy on earth doing that. But this, and think about this, guys. Luka was 3rd in weighted value for the Wemby meter last year. Okay, and he's going. So what was his Wemby meter? His Wemby meter was 5.7 last year. I think it could get up to about 6.5, like 6.3. I think we're going to get like a half of a point of a Wemby meter increase from Luka this year.
You're not the only guy ranking them Wemby, Luka, and Jokic, because I am as well. And in every league, I feel like almost every league I've been in, every draft, Jokic automatically goes first. People look at it and they're like, oh, I got to take Jokic, which means Wemby's going 2 and Luka. And a lot of times SGA's going 2. Then you have Luka and Wemby at 3 and 4. Like it's crazy to me. And sometimes Giannis goes, and then you're looking at one of those guys later than that. We're all fired up about Luka. Cover Men's Health, chip on his shoulder, angry about the trade. Now LeBron's out. He's going to have to do it all by himself. Monster season coming from Luka. And I think when you think of Wemby meter guys, you don't necessarily think about Luka, but his threes have so much weight, and he's not bad at blocks, and he's not bad at steals. So I love seeing him on this list, and I cannot wait for this season of Luka, man.
So I haven't been a Luka guy. I'll just full disclosure there. Mostly, even in head-to-head, I don't like the free throw issue. You know, it's not helping. And then he has gotten better in that area through the last couple of years. So that's fun. I mean, roto leagues especially. The part about it that I can't overcome, and I've overcome SGA. I thought that was a little easy. In a head-to-head, I was faced with the choice. I took Luka. The end of the season for SGA is probably not going to be great. Luka's got this chip on his shoulder season, and the only thing that has me, if I'm sitting on a two spot in a draft and I got to pick between the two, is Jokic just is. Like, he doesn't not be Jokic. Like, it just doesn't not happen.
He doesn't not be.
He just is. And then with Luka, you know, yeah, he's in the greatest shape of his life, blah, 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 blah. But the injury concerns, it's just that. It's literally, do I want to take the safe play and go with Jokic, or do I want to go for the freaking glory and take Luka? Because Luka could be sitting on an historic season. And if he goes all season long, especially if LeBron gets out of the way. There you have it.
All right, fellas. We're breaking down the Wemby meter. These are the biggest weighted value of when you look at only threes made, steals, and blocks. Okay, the Wemby meter. And how much the Wemby meter impacts the value of these players. All right, top 15 from last year. We're at number 4 right now, and it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who obviously is a fantastic PRA guy as well. A Wemby meter of 4.8 last year, 2.1 steals, 2.1 threes, 1.7 steals, 1 block. He does the Jordan stuff, right? Around a block, around 2 steals a game. I mean, what a stud, right? So a Wemby meter of 4.8. I don't think we're going to get an uptick on this, guys. Shea doesn't always hit 2 threes a game. He doesn't always get to that number. I'm going to say this is a static number, maybe a 0.2 hike up to 5, but he'll be around a Wemby meter of 5, which is elite. And draft away. I mean, SGA is an availability guy. J-Dub isn't shooting yet, last we heard. So I don't know. But you guys talk to me about SGA here and what the Doc, you first, what the Wemby meter does for his value.
Well, it's my pick in the Sports Ethos internal rotisserie league. I've got back-to-back picks. My head is elsewhere. I'm not going to lie, but I do have thoughts on SGA and his Wemby meter. I really believe that we saw peak SGA last year. He won his MVP, right? They won it all. I think he's gonna take the foot off the gas just a little bit, or Dagano's gonna do it for him. I'm not fading SGA. I think his numbers, if his numbers are the same as they were last year, I will consider that a win and a good season for SGA. I could see some of them slipping a little bit.
I'll just add this. I think it's great that Luka's kind of climbing up and taking the 3 spot in a lot of drafts, because it feels so much better to draft SGA at 4. Like, he drops to 4, you get him at 4. Oh, okay, cool. Like, it's much better than 5, and you're just happy. And then as far as Oklahoma City, I got one thing cooking. I think that, kind of they're all the odds in the preseason are kind of right on and all of that. But if they got one problem, it's that Isaiah Hartenstein has turned the corner the wrong way. And that's what made them special. And if he cannot be that guy, now all of a sudden you're asking Chet and Jalen Williams to be what Hartenstein was, kind of collectively. And by the way, Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, has leaned out. He is no longer big and strong. He is thin because he feels like that's his path to getting playing time on this team. So they don't have that big in there anymore. And if that gets exploited by the rest of the league, especially a league that started to go 2 bigs, maybe they're not in cruise control the way that they thought they would be. That might actually work for SGA. If they're in cruise control and they got an 8-win lead on second place, just they're all in trouble from a fantasy perspective. So a little bit of value swing going on in OKC.
Interesting, man. Great stuff from Aaron Bruski, Dr. Ray, Cam. We have Andre Lemouche with us as well. We're the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. Number 5 on the list, top Wemby meter guys from last year, is Tyrese Maxey. All right, and I love his stat set. We've talked about this a bunch. 3.1 threes, and that's a firm number. That's not going to move. It may go up. It's not going to go down. 1.8 steals. That one could fluctuate a little bit, but 1.8 steals. Ooh la la. 0.4 blocks. He's a guard. What are you going to do? It's a Wemby meter of 5.3. I don't see a whole lot of increase on this. Like, if we go up to 3.3 threes, we may come back down to 1.6 steals. I mean, it's possible. The bottom line is, what exactly will be the 10th? Will it be 0.7, 0.6? Like, the point is, he's an elite steal guy and an elite 3 guy, right? So, and what the number is what the number is going to be. But, like, you can draft him and check the box, and that's powerful stuff. So I don't really see an uptick on the Wemby meter here from Maxey. And Brew, I'm just out on Maxey this year because of I just don't know. And Doc and I've talked about this a ton. I love Tyrese Maxey. And I do think he's an availability guy and a warrior and all this kind of stuff. I fear a tank. I do. And everything looks good with Embiid right now. Doc thinks we're all being set up like we're suckers out here. He might be right. And I might be right that Embiid may have a good season, that he's been okey-doking us. But I don't know. Paul George, and they do need to tank to get to the bottom 4 to keep their pick. Otherwise, it goes to OKC. So I'm all jammed up, Brew, in my head about Tyrese Maxey, who's a phenomenal Wemby meter guy. But I'm not taking him in the second round because that's where you got to take Maxey right now.
Look, it's like a 40 to 47% chance. I can't remember off the top of my head that if they get a top 4 pick, or they finish bottom 4, pardon me, that they get inside the top 4. And so that's tough odds to play with. And by the way, that scenario plays a second time, depending on how it all goes in the following year. So I kind of wonder if they just say, if it's going well, let's go for it. And if it's not going well, let's go the other direction with it. So it's all tipping point stuff, starting with Joel Embiid, starting with Paul George. And then you got Tyrese Maxey just sitting in there, kind of hanging out, doing his thing. And I guess what it means to me is the ceiling is kind of where he's being drafted. And then the floor is very, very low. And that makes it an undesirable pick for me. And then in terms of your Wemby meter, I just think that it can't go any higher, and that the only thing it can do is go lower. So that's not great math.
Yeah, I'm out on Maxey. I think the Joel Embiid news that he looks good and he's healthy and he's going to play helps Maxey. Like if you draft Maxey in round 2, I think you got to feel a little bit better if the outlook on Joel Embiid is good. But I'm not messing with it, man. Philly's got bad juju. I'm getting really bad vibes from Paul George and Embiid. And as we saw last year, Maxey got shut down because they were tanking, trying to get that pick. And they're in the same spot again this year. They got to finish bottom 4 to get that pick. I can't do it. I'm out.
Here's the other side of this. Joel Embiid okey-doked us. He plays 62 games, and he's in the MVP race. Maybe even the fringe of it. Paul George comes back midseason. He's a solid number 3. You've got the edge comes in. Grimes, Kelly Oubre, like you've got some good bench pieces. Adem Bone is a good bench player. You still have Andre Drummond. You've got they built a nice little deep roster of like notable bench guys. Anyway, but the fact that I don't know, okay. I can't draft an I don't know if he will play in March and April when I'm trying to win chips in the second round. So let's move on. Anthony Edwards. I was going to say I'm bullish on. We all are. Okay. Duh. But he's the 5-hole guy for me. You got the big 4, bam, Ant-Man. A lot of you guys are going Cade. Some of you are going Giannis in that spot. Some of you are taking Giannis at 4 over a Luka or an SGA. Big mistake. Stop doing that, please. It's a public service announcement. I'm just here to help, man. But this, guys, is one reason why Ant-Man over Cade Cunningham. And me and Doc in the face-off, and it will be on sportsethos.com. We kind of go into this Ant versus Cade for that 5-hole. But Ant-Man is a better Wemby meter guy than Cade. So Ant-Man last year, 4.1 threes, 1.2 steals, 0.6 blocks. That's a Wemby meter of 5.9. For my liking, it's a little bit too weighted on the 3 side. We do need – Ant-Man, come on, bro. Like, this is the floor, right? 1.2 steals, 0.6 blocks from that athletic freak? Come on, bro. He's got to be Donovan Mitchell's at a steal and a half. Come on, Ant-Man. We got to get you to a steal and a half. 1.5, bro. We're going to hold you to that. And I need close to a block. Cade is at 0.8 blocks per game. All right? Ant-Man last year was at 0.6. So come on, let's go. Get up close to 1 block per game. So I think we are actually going to get a little bit of a drop in threes, a little bit of an uptick in the D from Ant-Man, and he should hover around a Wemby meter of 6, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, I love it. I I agree with everything you said there. And then I'll say this: Ant's my 5. He's and I'm getting that 5 slot way too much. It sucks, but I'm happy to have that kind of a player at 5, and I'm also happy with everything you're seeing in the offseason. He's getting closer to the hoop, and I kind of wondered, would it be at the handles? Would it be the finishing? Looks like it might be the post game that's going to cause the drop in threes, the defensive stuff. But by one little thing it's going on in the back of my head that I'm like worried about is, what if it all goes to hell in Minnesota? Like Julius Randle is old. Obviously Mike Conley's old.
Disruptor.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert, old. That's not great.
What about Mike Conley, Aaron? Is he young or is he old?
Mike Conley, he's old. He's old. But he's also our favorite player in the NBA.
I just drafted Mike Conley in 30 deep. I didn't just like a day or two ago. I was like, it was like pick 250 or something, right? I was like,
favorite players ever, Mike Conley.
I'm not psyched about him at all, but I'm like, he starts. Like he is I can tell you this, he was the only starter on the board, okay? At that point of the draft, the only starter in the entire NBA that was still available in 30
The
deep.
last one standing.
And I was like, all right, screw it.
Why not?
I mean, so I took Terrence Shannon Jr. at that round as well. I got sniped on AJ Green, dude. Because I've been tracking the preseason, and I know Doc loves AJ Green, and you've been starting him over Kuzma.
Is he Derry Bird? I can't remember if it's him or somebody else.
Who?
The Derry Bird.
That's
apparently his nickname.
I know nothing about that.
No?
I just know that he drills threes, and Doc loves him. Doc played him over Gary Trent Jr. last year, and I was like, aha. Anyway, that's deep league stuff. Let's get back on track here. Congrats to AJ Green on getting paid and being in Doc's good graces. But let's move on to Steph Curry here, guys. A little bit like Ant-Man. For me, the Wemby meter on Steph, and he was 7th last year. This is weighted value, okay? Threes made, steals, and blocks. Curry, very high. 4.4 3 balls. Wow, right? 1.1 steals, 0.4 blocks. Wemby meter of 5.9. Again, it's kind of like Ant-Man. He's going to be right around this number. I don't see a big uptick or a big decrease. He's going to be around 4.5 threes a game. It's what he does, best of all time. 1.1 steals. Maybe we could get up to a 1.4. It's not going to be much more than that. And, you're not going to get blocks out of Steph. So it is what it is. I don't have any shares of Steph outside of the keeper league, where I also have Sabonis, like I said, this dying team. I've got 2 chips, but I hate my Fred VanVleet is on this team. Boosh, right? So I got issues over there. But I don't know. Where you guys at with Steph Curry? Do you think his Wemby meter could go up, stay static? Talk to me.
I think it's going. I think it's going up. I feel like Steph has been laying low a little bit for the last couple of seasons, and I just feel like now that Jimmy is in the house and they feel like they can kind of go for it this year and try to win something, I feel like Steph is going to have a monster year.
Look, it's that, or it's Dorito ankles. No, I mean, look, what does it for me in terms of projecting an uptick is Al Horford. Al Horford, by the way, looks great. Between him and Mike Conley, man, they'll run young kids out of the gym all day long. But Al is perfect for that team. Kevon Looney was that guy, and they ran so much through him, but it's way better with Al Horford and all those pieces. A lot of continuity there. Jimmy opens it up. And by the way, Steph looks great. So it's all of the things are in perfect working order for him to be good. There was some murmurs about possible rest, through the offseason. I think we would have heard about that if that was going to be the case. So it's just your classic risk reward. And how many miles are on the tires?
He's a bit of an injury risk, but not a ton. And this is an all chips in the middle of the table year. That's why I'm back on the Jimmy Butler thing. He did just tweak his ankle, which has me now toggling and vacillating. But Jimmy, don't do this to me again. Don't do it again. Don't do it again, dude. I mean, I'm on the Butler yo-yo right now. Jimmy, do not do me like that. If I feel played, you will go on the dead to me list, and
because you guys have talked so nicely about Jimmy. I'm sure he's going to listen to all of what you guys are saying, and he's going to turn in a banner year for y'all.
Jimmy, you don't have to do it for us. Just do it, okay? We don't need any DAP. We don't need any. We don't need to be your inspiration, bro. Just go play, okay? You're not in Hollywood anymore, bro. You're in the Bay Area, okay? Where they win championships, which, by the way, you do not have. You act like you have one, but you don't.
See, I can get you guys going. Doc, fired. You're just mysteriously quiet over there.
That's his guy. Oh, here's Doc's guy. Number 8. Okay, weighted value for the Wemby meter last year. Threes made, steals, and blocks. James Harden. Okay. This is why James Harden is a late first round pick. If you were wondering, man, you guys are overdrafting Harden. No, we're not. Flirts with a 20-point triple-double every night. 3 balls. I love the defense from Harden last year, guys. Like, it gets me fired up. 1.5 steals, 0.7 blocks from James Harden. A doughy mid-30s party freaking animal is out there getting 2.2 defensive stats a game, and he plays huge minutes. So, like, in the playoffs, that's where I say, bye, James, have fun. Okay, but in the regular season, that's my homie. I'm riding shotgun with him. Okay. And so he had a Wemby meter of 5.2 last year. It's kind of difficult for me to see an uptick on that, guys, honestly. It may drip back to 5.1, 5.0, but it's going to be around 5, and I love his stat set. And I don't care if he shoots 41% from the field. I don't care.
He reminds me of like what my coaches used to say to me is they'd say, "You're the smartest dumbass I've ever seen." And that's James Harden. Like, he's like the cat burglar, he just can go get the ball and like, he'll just deke you out of whatever he wants to deke you out of. And then of course he'll walk up the court.
Yeah.
I wasn't a walk up the court guy, by the way, but he's a walk up and maybe kind of participate in offense if the ball comes his way kind of a guy. So it's James Harden, but he's really good on defense as far as the stats go. And I'm all in on James Harden where he's being drafted right now.
I had lunch with my friend John before coming home for this podcast, and I told him that he was the smartest dumbass that I've ever met in my life.
That happened today? That's crazy.
I tell him that almost every day, but yeah.
Oh.
He graduated from Vandy. He's a big numbers guy. He's like super smart, but
total dumbass.
Total dumbass.
Like street smarts, like decisions that he makes with women. How is he a dumbass?
I just hope he's not watching this. No, it's all good. He knows.
All right, it's all love. But yeah, no. Us in this bucket, we do dumb things. It doesn't matter what might be cooking up here. We just do dumb things. So
I have no Jimmy Harden on my squad this year, and it makes me sad.
Oh, that's sad.
I've been going so hard on Josh Giddey, man. Like, I've got Josh Giddey. You know how they say you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, Brew, and how you should diversify, and how you shouldn't count. I just got a text. Is he watching? Woo! John just texted me, dude. I can't believe you're talking ish about me on your podcast.
Is he seriously watching right now?
No, but he just texted me, and it was about something else. Okay.
Whatever you do, don't turn on the show.
Dude, I thought homie was stalking you, man.
Close call. But I have no James Harden because I've gone all in on Josh Giddey. Like, I'm taking Josh Giddey at
you put your 401k in crypto
in every single draft. So if Josh Giddey sucks this year, I'm not going to be winning fantasy titles. I'm just gone all in on him.
But Josh Giddey's not going to suck this year.
Should I be taking James Harden in places? Yes, I love James Harden. But what am I doing at the turn? Let's see what I do here. Oh yeah, I'm going Giddey and then Amen. Like, when I have the 12th pick in the draft, I go Giddey and Amen Thompson because they're shiny, they're young, they're new. I know what James Harden does. Already been there. He's
I love it.
Old as dirt.
I value honesty, and Doc is always honest.
They're anything, they're so shiny. Oh my God, I love that, dude. That cracks me up. Okay, we talked about Jaren Jackson Jr. At the top of the show, like, came back and played. So so last year, where's JJJ on my list? There he is. 2 threes, 1.2 steals, 1.5 blocks, a Wemby meter of 4.7. Not going to be much more than the 2 threes. 1.2 steals is kind of where he lives. He only had 2 years, guys, in his entire career, only 2 seasons with the bulbous block number. 2. Otherwise, it's been 1.5 or 1.6. So I think this number for JJJ at 4.7, the Wemby meter last year, is going to be pretty static. And we already talked about him. So he's at number 9. This one is a bit ironic, okay? It's Paul George, 10th in weighted Wemby meter value last year. Where is Paul George? Here he is. 2.3 threes, 1.8 steals, 0.5 blocks, 4.6 Wemby meter. All right. Bro, I got to go to you on Paul George. He's on the dead to me list. Like, I haven't even done a projection for Paul George. That's how far off his radar for me that he is. Okay. He's so unreliable. If Embiid and Maxey are humming, he was lost in the shuffle when those three played together last year. So I just don't like it. But I am surprised and kind of impressed that he was 10th in weighted value for threes, blocks, and steals last year. And a Wemby meter of 4.6 is pretty darn good.
I don't know, man. He's got that when he's talking about his year, he's talking about how healthy he is. He's talking about all the things. He has that look about him, and that look is not good. That look is like, I'm kind of just going through the motions. I'm kind of not sure what my body's capable of. I'm kind of not really digging this Philadelphia thing, and just it's like dripping all over him. And okay, fine. You might read into something that's not there, but I'm in like 99 times out of 100 that kind of is easy to read. And so for those reasons, I'm out.
I would draft Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant before I would draft Paul George at this point. I'm not touching him. I don't care if it's the final round. He's bad karma. He's bad vibes. He's bad juju. I don't want any of it.
So it's very simple. We're keeping like that irritable look, that kind of annoyed like grimace on his face is because we are keeping him, Brew, from his podcast. We're bothering him with this. What do you mean basketball? I have to actually play basketball. I'm not in the Hall of Fame yet. No, Paul, you're rich. Okay, you are. You don't have to work ever again in your life. But no, you're not done yet. They're still paying you. Probably the worst contract in ball right now is the Paul George contract. Not mad at Daryl Morey. He had to do what he had to do, but he picked the wrong guy. I'll go through these next five guys here. Okay, Tyrese Halliburton was 11th last year in weighted Wemby meter value. Not going to play this year, so let's move on. And we shout you out, Tyrese. We love you. We'll see you next year. Miles Turner, guys, is next. 2.2 threes, 2 blocks, 0.8 steals. Fan-freaking-tastic. A Wemby meter of 5 last year. And I think it'll drop a little bit. 0.8 steals may be tough to uphold for him. But he's always been a 2-and-2 guy, or at least for a lot of years has been a 2-and-2 guy. So I think he's going to remain about the same there. Derek White is next at 13, guys. To me, he is the most underrated Wemby meter guy because he's Derek White and he's not Tatum or Brown. But dude, his stats are phenomenal. 3.5 threes, 0.9 blocks, 1.1 steals, Wemby meter of 5.5. And it's kind of balanced, right? Helping in all three of the categories. Love that. This is a huge part of his value, by the way. Nikola Jokic is 14th. We talked about him. And Anthony Davis, Doc's favorite player, is at 15 in terms of weighted value. Looking at the Wemby meter. That too. But 0.7 threes, 1.2 steals, 2.2 blocks. That's a Wemby meter of 4.1. Right? The guys we've been talking about are like at 6 and 5, and Anthony Davis is at 4.1. I'm really not that impressed, guys. So talk to me about those last 5 guys that I brought up. Doc, you first.
I like Miles Turner. I will draft Miles Turner. I haven't gotten him because Rick and Brew, as you know, we're taking. There's a group of like 5 centers that Rick and I draft, and Turner's not in that unit because he's going too early. We're taking wings and scoring studs when Miles Turner is going. So I just haven't gotten him, but I do love his blocks and threes. Derek White, my man. I love Derek White. I think Derek White and Peyton Pritchard are shutdown proof. Like they're not going to shut down even if things go off the rails in Boston. So I love Derek White. I wish I had more shares of him. Obviously, Jokic, don't need to even say anything. And then Anthony Davis, out of shape, street clothes, playing in Dallas. Brew, your faith in Dallas and your hope for Dallas is
Warms your heart.
good luck, brother. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah. Yeah, we'll
Sorry,
did
you just hit Brew with a bless your heart? I felt like you just hit
think
Brew
you
with a
did.
bless your heart moment.
That was a bless your heart. Bless your heart.
I should have said
Bless
bless
your
your heart because I'm down here in Atlanta. We say that all the time.
I know.
Bless your silly little heart. Yeah, no. Well, thank you for blessing my heart.
Bless your heart,
appreciate
Brew.
that. I would like to report that Anthony Davis is not fat and he's just big boned. And we are we're going to work that out throughout the entire course of the season.
And she's got a great personality.
I love it.
Don't lead
On
with
top of that, Miles Turner is interesting because on one hand, he has all the opportunity in the world. They need him to be a badass 50 million different ways from Saturday. But the problem that I have with Miles Turner, aside from people drafting him before I would consider it, is he goes from a system that's perfect for him, literally the best possible system in the world for him, to Milwaukee, where Giannis doesn't make quick decisions with the ball. They're going to take like a third of the season to figure out how the hell does this work. Plus, you've got all sorts of guys out there who aren't up to snuff. I mean, you're going to get Kevin Porter. You're going to get Gary Bird, if that is his name. You're going to get, oh man, Kyle Kuzma is just going to be freaking awesome. Just kidding, guys. But then you got Cole Anthony and Ryan Rollins, Gary Trent. These are not, they're not making the needle move. They're not getting Miles Turner copious amounts of threes. And, defensively, you could maybe think of an increase in blocks playing next to Giannis. Maybe something good can happen there. But I just think it's going to be a really interesting, how does Miles Turner get deployed? And then how does this Giannis chaos work out for him over the course of a year? So that's probably the most interesting of the names on that list. And, Derek White, he was a B150 standout from a couple seasons ago. And it's just been great to have the entire time. So he's great. Jokic is great, obviously. I think I'm missing one, but yeah, Miles Turner, watch out.
Yeah, I love Miles Turner. Love him. However, I have a rule this year. For the most part, wings rounds 1 through 5, centers round 6 and 7, and Turner's gone at that point. But I'm still getting my blocks and getting my threes from other guys. It is nice to get the 2 threes and the 2 blocks from the same package, I must admit. But I've just got a different strategy this year. All right, we want to take you to sportsethos.com right now. We want to take you to the best fantasy basketball draft guide that has ever been. Okay. Andre Lemouche, Aaron Bruski, Rick Kamla, Steve Alexander, Mark Camaro, Mike Passador, on and on and on and on and on. With our with our fabulous team, man. It's all there. So what we want to do is give you a little teaser here. We are going to pull a little bit of content from our articles that are that are subscription based, right? And we encourage you to go to sportsethos.com, find the price point that works for you, and you're going to get tremendous value out of that. Any dollar you spend, you're going to get tremendous value out of it. So Brew is going to take us into his B150, which is the B241. Doc is going to take us into his My Guys article. I'm going to take you into my Pop Players article, and we're going to have a good time. And Brew, I go to you first, my friend.
Okay. B150, guys, I've been doing it for over 10 years. It's typically the case that we have like 30, 45, 60 players that we're ahead on. It wins every year at the highest levels, and that's all good and great. I'm going to give you a player from the B150 that I would consider to be maybe like the 30th best value in the list. And so that way, if you go to Sports Ethos, you get a membership, you get a Bruski 150, there'll be 29 better picks, but I keep getting Jordan Poole in drafts, and I'm thrilled about it. I'm thrilled about the value. Look at that little smirk, Doc. I caught that little smirk over there. And what I'm thrilled about is he's going to get stats on a bad team. He's pretty durable. I think he's kind of got a chip on his shoulder. I don't worry about the surroundings. I don't worry about people taking the ball out of his cold, dead hands. He got even though he's injured, Kevon Looney there, I think that was almost a nod to Jordan Poole, knowing that these guys have run action, split action, that have watched their preseason games. They're running plenty of split action out there. This is stuff that Jordan's good at, that just immediately generates threes, points, and is kind of a cornerstone of their offense already. And so it's just this kind of easy pickings to take Jordan Poole. Everybody's kind of over Jordan Poole. They got burnt on Jordan Poole 2 years ago. Last year was a Washington Wizards season, and it's, but in that season, he was damn good. It's the same situation in New Orleans. The 30th best player from the B150, Jordan Poole.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. The 30th best value.
What's Doc smirking over there about?
I was not really
with that well-manicured goatee.
I'm one of those people that got burned by Jordan Poole 2 years ago.
He went to his stylist before the show. Bro.
That's what happened. Told him he was the smartest, dumbest stylist he's ever seen in his life.
Are we talking about Jordan Poole?
No, we're busting your balls is what we're doing. Go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry, dude.
It's okay. It's okay. Brute. So Jordan Poole burned me 2 years ago. I thought he was going to lead the league in scoring. Is there a chance that Poole has the year this year that we thought he was going to have 2 years ago when he signed with Washington?
I mean, the thing about this is, even if they all stay healthy, he's going to get his. So that's not the answer to your question. The answer to your question is, can he have that season that, people were thinking, could this be like a third round? Could this be a second round? He's just going to shoot 30 times a game. And what's that going to look like? That it's possible. It is possible. It's in play. And then, you probably want to look at what does it look like when DeJounte Murray gets back, if he gets back, and how does that all figure in? I just think he's going to be the guy that cruises through all of this mess, and it will be a mess in New Orleans. It will in Zion, how he gets out of there and how they get him out of there. That will kind of be an irritant probably throughout this whole thing, but he's going to be calm, smooth, and steady through all of that, like a mid-round value at worst, with third round upside.
What about we have a question from our audience here watching live on the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. We love you guys and girls out there, and continue to ask questions. We love to answer them. Brew, they want to know DeJounte Murray and how his eventual return will in fact or impact Poole's numbers. How when do you anticipate DeJounte being back, and how are you calculating that?
I got the December, January kind of fulcrum in my mind. And then as far as what does it do to affect him, I think it keeps things from deteriorating. And when it deteriorates, things like field goal percentage get bad. You start to look to the off season and start to get conservative with players' minutes and their injuries and things like that. So I look at it as long as it keeps them competitive, can get them up and down the floor, draw a little bit of an attention away from Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's possessions are pretty straightforward. He gets the ball, he does something. It's either a shot or it's going to be a pass. And I don't see the usage coming away from him.
Or a mistake.
Or he might get knocked the F out. You just never know with Jordan Poole.
You never know.
But also, this is perfect. He's been humbled as well. And that's an important thing here.
Big time.
And he's good enough to do the things that people thought he was able to do. And it's now time for him to it's not even put up or shut up. It's just shut up. And I think he's been humbled to shut up. And now he's going to get his.
And speaking of DeJounte Murray, Rick, I know you were drafting him at the end of drafts and putting him on the IR and chilling. And then you said, well, I've done that enough. I'm kind of burned out on doing that.
Yeah.
I picked up what you were laying down, and I've started picking up DeJounte Murray with the final pick in every draft I'm in. I immediately, as soon as the draft ends, run to my roster, put him on the IR, and go pick up the player that I wanted instead. And now Bruski sitting here telling us that he's going to be back maybe in this December.
No,
do you know how
fast
go
on.
December and January are going to be here? Like, I'm kind of fired up. I'm usually not put a guy on IR and wait kind of guy myself, but DeJounte Murray is a fantasy baller, and I've got him on 3 teams. And if he comes back in December or January and picks up where he left off, it's going to make my team a hell of a lot better.
I mean, the guy's a second round type of fantasy player, and you're just going to go bloop, parachute him into your lineup. Again, very, very late in your draft. Take a couple of swings on that, man. Take get you a shot at DeJounte. All right, Doc, let's go to your My Guys article. Let's pull a player out there. We encourage everybody to go to sportsethos.com to read Doc's My Guys article. You need a subscription. And so please go to sportsethos.com and check that out. We really appreciate that. Take us into your guy here that you want to bring up, Doc.
The only player I'm drafting more than Josh Giddey is Matas Buzelis. And we were doing a show 2 days ago, Rick and I were, and he rattled off a Buzelis box score from a preseason game that I had not seen or heard of yet. And what was it, Rick? Like 5 blocks
and 3 threes. He had a Wemby meter of 8, which is Wemby's Wemby meter. Matas Buzelis did that.
5 blocks, 3 threes, like 15 points, and 5 boards. And there have been times when I've drafted Matas Buzelis this year. I took him in the 3rd round of a 20-man draft, which to me, that's not that crazy. That's more like 5th round in a 12-teamer, right? And these guys are like, that's the craziest pick I've ever seen. This guy's insane. And when we sat down this summer and started thinking about this season, I was not high on Buzelis. I was high on Buzelis. Last year, I bet actual money on him to win the slam dunk contest. That was embarrassing. But I've been reading, following the Buzelis hype train for a while. And we did a show this summer, and I don't remember who said it, but they're like, he's going to get 30 minutes a game this year, and he's going to start. And I was like, you look at Buzelis's per 36. If he gets 30 minutes a game, this kid is going to be a killer. So I just decided, screw it, I'm going in. He can hit threes. He can block shots. He can he's got a great Wemby meter. He's got a great fantasy outlook. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's the industry. There's a lot of hype about him now. I think his ADP has just been climbing up and up and up. And I've probably wrecked some of that as well. But man, one league I did not get Buzelis in. Brian Flood took him in the 3rd round of 30 deep, right before I was getting ready to pick him. And it was heartbreaking. And at that moment, I was like, no one is going to get Buzelis again, as long as I'm in that draft.
That is Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, and he gets locked in, guys. I mean, we all do, but Doc really gets locked in. And you should. I don't deviate in baseball. I have one way to play. It's a method that's worked great for me. I don't like, oh, I'm going to try a different methodology over here. No, why would you do that? If it works, don't fix it. So let me take you to my Pop Players article. Again, it's over at sportsethos.com. Please go get a subscription, find the price point that works for you, and you will have access to all of this tremendous content. It's the best fantasy basketball draft guide ever. And that's not opinion or commentary. That's factual. So one of my Pop players that I want to talk with you guys about here, we've talked a lot about him, right? However, I take a deep dive on him in this article and all the other guys. Donovan Clingan. All right. Draft. Just do it. Nike style. Just do it. He's getting better with each game here in the preseason. He's hitting threes. Okay. Donovan Clingan. That was a talk when he was at UConn, right? Winning chips. Oh, and I remember Bill Raftery. I looked at him and warming up, and that 3-ball's looking pretty good. This is when he was at UConn. All right. And so, he's kept working on it. I don't know if we're going to get 1 3-ball a game from Klingon. Probably not. What if we get 0.7 threes from Klingon? That's awesome. That's like gravy. I didn't even really compute that in his line. I did, but like what I'm in for Klingon, it's a huge rebound number and it's a huge block number. He's a little bit bigger than Walker Kessler, but they profile very, very similarly in terms of body type, in terms of skill set. Guys, on Thursday, Donovan Klingon, this was last night, 9 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 3 blocks, 1 3. Okay. It's the best line he's had in the preseason. Actually, the last game might have been a little better, but anyway, the last 2 games have been really, really good. There's no real internal competition here. Okay. He's squashed all of that. Young Hansen looks really good. I'm intrigued. I like the player. I love the pick in the mid-first round. I think Portland really is onto something here. However, Young Hansen is not going to look, we could have a 26-22. I don't think we're going to have a 24-24 timeshare. I think it's going to be slanted towards Klingon. I'm hoping for 28, okay? I think even at 26, Donovan Klingon can give us a dub with 2 blocks a game, even at 26 minutes, maybe even at 24 minutes, okay? But Young Hansen throughout the preseason, it feels like he's dipped a little bit. Like he started out here and it's dipped. Klingon started here and he's rising. So anyway, big on Walker Kessler. He has doubters, okay? He has doubters. This is why he's drifting in drafts and all this kind of stuff. We're going to find out this year. All right, who's right, who's wrong? Can he play consistently? Can he stay healthy? Can he handle a large minutes load? Can he play back-to-backs? Can he give us 65 or 70 games? Or is he a clunky big who's going to give us 55, 61 games? We're going to learn that this year, okay? But I want to leave the train station with a Klingon ticket, and I've got tons of shares of him, and like Doc said, if Matas Buzelis isn't good, there's going to be sorrow for Doc. If Donovan Klingon isn't good, there's going to be sorrow over here in Clearwater, Florida, homie.
I don't think that's going to happen because, the body transformation for Donovan Klingon is really kind of shocking. Like he was getting you last year in 12 minutes a game. He was getting you like 10 and 10 with 2 blocks. And he had this look of like, man, this man is just large. Like you can't get around him and he's just going to do this. Like this is what he does. He's big. He's long. The blocks and the boards will be there in 12 minutes. And then you start wondering about his knee. Like, can he handle this up and down the floor at that weight? And then this season he comes in, I want to say he's like 30, 40 pounds lighter. Like no joke, probably 25 if I had to throw a dart, but he's legitimately lighter. And so the idea that he still has the capability to rebound, he still has the capability to block, maybe even more so at a lighter weight. And this is going to help his longevity. This is going to help his minutes per game. Hansen is not there yet, as cool as he is, as fun as he is. He's not there yet. There's not a competition between these two. I think they were looking long-term with his knee, Klingon, to take the weight off of that long-term. He answered the bell in every way. And if he's hitting threes, holy crap, that's just great. So that's going to be a lot of fun for folks in fantasy and in Portland.
It bums me out when somebody else takes Klingon and I don't get him. I'm like, wow, a team without
Klingon.
And
for Doc on the Buzelis thing, I think that's the toughest call in fantasy sports, is the player that's the shiny toy that everybody wants and who's got the balls to take them 2 rounds in advance. It's very hard to do. It's going to look bad if it goes bad. You're not, the value quote is not there, but that's where you get these guys that go up 3, 4, or 5 rounds and you outpace a hot market. That to me is the hardest call in fantasy sports. So bravo, Doc, for just doing it.
That's what I do though. Like every single year I get hot on a guy and I take him 2 rounds early. And people
it's easy to sit there and say, oh, he's such and such as a late round pick, and then like run a victory lap when they go top 50. Like it's rate them at top 50 and rate a hot market, 2 rounds ahead on somebody that everybody wants to get. That's the stuff that's impressive. So I congratulate you for your nads.
So thanks,
great,
bro.
Great nads.
All right. So we transitioned from nice nads to the FanDuel Futures portion of our program. It is the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel, the legendary Aaron Bruski. We have Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. These two guys, kind of a big deal. We also have Andre Lemouche producing, and I'm Rick Kamla. So we get into FanDuel Futures. Please go to FanDuel.com. They will hook you up like cable. Okay. Get an account if you don't have one. And if you have one, maybe add some money to it. Huge weekend of football betting, do your thing. But we got NBA futures for you here. Teams to advance, or a team to advance to the Western Conference Finals this year. Okay. So West Finals, 2 teams. I'm going to go first here. I'll give you, I'll tell you what, I'll give you the odds and I'll let Doc go first. Oklahoma City's a minus 210. Again, this is the West. All right. OKC's a minus 210. This is just make the Western Conference Finals. You don't have to win the West, just make the conference finals. Denver is next at a plus 195. Then Houston at a plus 380. Then the Lakers at a plus 450. Then Minnesota at a plus 430. I guess these are a little out of order. The Clippers are a plus 400. Golden State's a plus 550. Dallas, Brew, is a plus 850. Do you feel lucky? San Antonio, plus 1100. Memphis, plus 2200. Sac, plus 6,000. Portland, plus 5,500. Phoenix, plus 10,000. Vegas hates Phoenix this year. New Orleans, plus 5,500. And the Jazz are a plus 50,000 because they have the second worst team in the NBA. So Doc, go first. Those are the odds. What's up?
I want you to tell the people which one of those I'm taking. I think you know.
Pardon me, brother. You are taking the Houston Rockets at plus 380.
I'm okay with that, but I like the Clippers a lot.
Oh,
plus 400 on the Clippers.
My bad. You're on a Clipper thing this year. That's right.
Clippers on paper look like a freaking all-star team. Like, they look unbelievable. Of course, that hinges on Bradley Beal being out there. Who knows? But I think the Clippers have a chance. And the Rockets at plus 380 with Ime Udoka and Amen Thompson and Kevin Durant.
You led with Amen. I love it. Over Durant and Alpi. You just can't get enough of that, dude.
Amen.
Say a prayer. Can I get a hallelujah?
Amen season. Hallelujah. Amen.
Can I get
Praise the Lord.
Oh, wait, did we catch the Holy Ghost? I was looking at my phone. What's going on?
Rockets plus 380 is nice. I like that one as well. So Rockets and Clippers are the two that I like going with there. Bruce is going to be all about the Dallas Mavericks.
Our chat's hilarious right now. Okay. I actually don't like the Dallas Mavericks here because I think that all that size, I don't think that translates in the playoffs. I think that they're going to get gummed up and they won't be able to do what they need to do.
Yeah, I mean, this is advanced to the Western Conference Finals. It's not just like who's going to do well. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I'm looking at this list, teams that stand, I usually block bet this kind of thing. I don't like the price on the Thunder. You could theoretically get into that price and try to game this out, but I might actually just avoid them altogether and just say I like Denver a lot. I think Denver is really, really going to be good this year. They are my number 2 power ranked team in the entire league. I think they got better. I think that they got all the continuity, all the good things that you need to take a 2-to-1 bet that they can arrive there. Obviously, you don't want them to face Oklahoma City prior to the finals. That would be bad. But other than that, I don't like Houston. I don't like Los Angeles. I don't like Minnesota. I do like the other Los Angeles, the Clippers version. And give me a little side of Golden State in that mix. Oh, and finally, San Antonio at plus 1,100. This team is that good, guys. Like they're this good. It's just a question of can they at the end of the day, can they pull it off? And their players are really, really good. Like this could be one of those things where we're talking about how fast Wemby did the thing. Got it done, got to the finals, shockingly, and it just snuck up on everybody because of all the injuries and all the just slow playing that the Spurs have done. It would not shock me at all if the San Antonio Spurs are in the Western Conference Finals this year, making that plus 1,100 succulent.
Nice. FanDuel.com, guys. You can monetize all of these vibes, even your own.
You can monetize vibes?
You can monetize vibes. You just have to have the right vibes and the right platform to monetize the vibes on, which is FanDuel.com. So I agree with you, Brew, that the odds here minus 210 on OKC, but barring several acts of God, it's a virtual lock that they're in the West Finals, right? I mean, like, for that not to happen, something insane has to happen. Actually,
Dude,
several insane things have to happen.
Denver.
I don't know about that. I think the West is so good now that OKC, like, they are not a lock. I don't feel like they are, Rick. You do. That's awesome. I'm scared for them a little bit. Like, I still say until somebody knocks them out, they're the team. I think they're the favorite. But, man, I don't know. Some of these other teams look pretty freaking good.
So all I know is that OKC won 68 games last year. The next best team in the Western Conference won 52. They beat the West by 16 games. So you all can hit me with the rugged Wild Wild West, and I'm buying it. Doesn't apply to these guys, man. They shred everybody. And Doc, one of the best points you've made of the entire offseason, because I was like, yeah, OKC may like throttle down a little bit with games played. We looked at the games played for their players last year, okay? Hartenstein missed 1 million games. Chet missed 1 million games. J-Dub missed a chunk of games, I think, second half of the season. SGA was like very available and stuff. But you had several important players miss chunks, all right? And so is that going to happen again? I don't know. I kind of think it's not. I actually think they're due some injury luck this year, not the other way around, where, a team's completely healthy the year before, right? That's where I'm like, the bug's probably coming for him. I feel like the bug already hit OKC last year. So I don't like the money here, but I will die on that hill. At least it's my hill, right?
Well, if you're going to take a minus 210, that's a great minus 210.
Exactly. But can somebody in the West knock off? Maybe. My crystal ball does not see that right now. So for me, the question is, who joins OKC in the West Finals? And Brew, I love Denver's roster. I love it. Okay. They're motivated. They're pissed off. They're too deep at every spot. You got Bruce Brown. You got Tim Hardaway Jr. You got Peyton Watson. You got Deron Holmes. You've got Dario Saric. You've got Jonas Valanciunas backing up Jokic. I mean, Jonas is a double-double starting center in this game right now. He's your backup. All right. And you've obviously got a rock star starting five. So to me, Denver plus 195 is ooh la la. Love that. And the other one that I would play here, if I was getting kind of frisky with it, would be Minnesota at a plus 430. Here's why. Who's been in the Western Conference Finals? Who's the only team in the West to be in the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years? It's my Wolfies.
Oh,
it's my Wolfies. Oh, so there you go.
You're gonna go there.
You gotta get warmed
get
up.
A call out of Doc.
Yeah, I gotta get it from the diaphragm. You know what I mean? So guys, what a extravaganza this episode is.
I have one more.
Fellas, take a bow.
Honestly, I could do this for another 2 hours. It's that
I have
time.
one more thing to say, and then I'm going to play Golden Tee.
Why is Golden Tee not a sponsor, guys? Just throwing it out there.
Rick is always hyping up Brew, the legendary Aaron Bruski, and the Hall of Famer Dr. A. He never talks about himself. Dude's been on NBA TV, had a whole career at NBA TV, Sirius XM radio, countless other stuff. He's one of the forces of fantasy basketball, and he actually had a fantasy show on TV about basketball before anyone was even playing fantasy football. So, props
Which,
to
by
you,
the
Ricky.
way,
props
is
to
the
you, Ricky
only,
Pike.
like, I
Thank
want
you,
to take
Doc.
this a little
Appreciate
further
you, man.
myself. This is the reason this fantasy industry exists. Fantasy basketball is these two guys right here. And I think it's important that folks out there put that level of respect on their names, because we don't have jobs. I wouldn't have had a job at NBC. I wouldn't have had a job here at Sports Ethos. None of this would be available to folks if these guys didn't lay the way for bazillions of people to start playing this game. Prior to these two gentlemen sitting right here, basketball was just like this afterthought. And I remember watching basketball pass baseball during our time at NBC, and it was the original fantasy sport getting usurped by basketball, which doesn't happen without this show I was watching 20 plus years ago with my roommates and going, this knows basketball. Like, this is crazy. Like, this guy knows more basketball than anybody. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you could play fantasy basketball. Holy crap.
Dude, when I was at NBC, I said, you guys care if I write a basketball article? And they're like, no, we don't care. Nobody cares about fantasy basketball. You do whatever you want. Knock yourself out, kid.
Right. And now you got, people kind of running around talking industry, and this is industry right here. And it's just a pleasure to be a part of. And I can't say enough about it. And the growth of the game is amazing. And that's what we're trying to do here at Sports Ethos is invest, real investment, not tweets, not likes, not follows, not subscribes, all this stuff is real investment, real product, real joy, real fun, and get this industry energized with real actual money and take it to the bank, and we run with it. So thank you guys for being a part of this. This has been a blessing, and I can't wait to do it year after year with you guys.
Thank you, Brew. Thank you for having me. Thank you for creating this. This is Brew's vision. This is Brew's baby, what we're doing right here, man. Brew, love you. Doc, love you. Thank you so much for saying that. Really appreciate it, man. And tons of respect and love and admiration for you guys. Really, we built this together, us three. So I don't know. I love you guys, man. I really appreciate what you guys said. Love coming to work with you guys every day. Actually love coming to fun with you guys every day. So folks, it's very, very simple. Go to sportsethos.com, get a subscription. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the Sports Ethos YouTube channel. Very important. Subscribe to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed. Equally important. And please download the Sports Ethos app. It is amazing. It might not change your life, although it might if you're a huge fantasy player, because you need player dudes. You need them coming at you like you're drinking out of a fire hose, especially right now. And we got you, okay? Baseball, football, and basketball, we got you. So for the legendary Aaron Bruski, for Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, for the great Andre Lemouche, I am Rick Kamla. Guys, girls, we love you. The season starts next week, and we got you here, starting back up on Monday here on Sports Ethos. This is the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Sponsored by FanDuel.